I run a music business and only about 10% of my job is actually music. So if you think passion is enough to build a business, this video might save you a lot of pain. I didn't start a wedding band business because I was passionate about music. Let me explain. Passion is emotional, it's unstable, and it evolves. If I just think of all the things that I was passionate about throughout my life, rollerblading in the 90s, I was so into it. It was like my entire life. And poof, one day, I just didn't care about it anymore. Imagine building a business around rollerblading. Now, of course, it all went, there's no such thing almost. The point is, I was passionate about it and now I'm not. It evolved. And what people don't tell you is that once you turn your passion into business, it stops being pure. You lose something. There's a famous quote by Chris Rock. I love it. Follow your dreams if they're hiring. It's just so practical. Passion doesn't pay the bills, the markets do. Let's talk about this in the context of my wedding band business. I've been doing this now for 15 years. About 10% of what I actually do is music. It has to do with music, is playing music. Learning songs and playing the show. That's 10%. The rest is emailing, getting on the phone with clients, talking to wedding planners, talking to event coordinators, communicating with venues, managing money, managing musicians, that's a whole thing. Writing and rewriting contracts, updating files, and creating systems. This is my day-to-day, and it's most of what I do for my business. I would say it's really the bulk of what I do in terms of what actually makes me money. I could not play in my band ever again, and I would still make a full-time income. That's how much I make from the logistical side of things. If I only loved music and hated logistics, this business would have crushed me. So early on, when I was starting the business, I realized that I was really good at emailing. I was really good at the logistical part of things. It just comes naturally to me. And I would be really prompt in my replies to clients. I'd be on the phone right away. I would be really on top of all the details. I'm a very type A personality. And I would get this feedback from clients and planners like, wow, you're really on top of it. Oh, I love how responsive you are. Wow, you wouldn't believe these other vendors that we're working with. You're just night and day. And I was like, really? I thought everybody was like me. I didn't think that I was an outlier. And that was a big turning point because I leaned in to the logistical, that type A part of my brain. A wedding band is basically a logistics company with instruments. And I stood out because most musicians hate the logistics. They just want to play. And so what happened is that my proficiencies, all this other stuff beyond music, that took me much farther than my passion for music. And yes, I am passionate about music. I love all the things. I love the repertoire. I love the artists. I love more and more every day the instrument and interacting with my bandmates on stage. But at the end of the day, I'm also really passionate about being excellent. I became passionate about the difficulty in the pursuit. Business is all about problem solving constantly. Big problems, little problems, figuring out which problem is important now, which problem is important later. It's all about sitting in the discomfort of having all of these problems and still being able to solve the most immediate problems. Guys, I remember one of the things that really blows my mind is the problems that I had 10, 15 years ago, now they're like just like a bug, like a mosquito, and I just swat them like that. That's how good I've become. That's this process of figuring out and learning how to solve problems. These monumental problems that would like take me days and I would suffer. I would have to lie down when this kind of email came in. Now it's like, okay, next, and this is a really important takeaway. I had to build a resistance to all of these problems and being able to hold them on my shoulders. It's like going to the gym. You lift light weights early on, and the more you do it, the stronger you get, you lift heavier weights. Same thing, you're able to solve bigger problems, and you're able to go forward faster. One of my early problems was, somebody getting sick in the band the day before the wedding, and it would absolutely crush me. I would be like, it's the end of the world. Now it's like one text message and I solved it. And it's like, hold my beer, right? It's not a problem at all because I've built all of these systems to make it easy for me, for that to be solved with just one text message. And passion has its place. All the people in my band, they're super passionate about music, and that's why I hire them. They're excellent, and they follow their dreams, and I love that kind of energy. I love being surrounded by that. And the real MVPs are the ones that have become great at the logistical part of things. Even though there's always gonna be somebody that comes in and is terrible at logistics, but they're so passionate about music and they're so talented that it's not gonna matter. But most of the MVPs, they are excellent at the logistical side of running their own mini businesses as freelance musicians. So it's okay to keep your passion sacred and let the business fund your passion instead of your passion being taken over by a business. And what I want to encourage you is to think about what you're good at. What's your skill set? What are you better at than most people? What problems can you tolerate better than others? And what skills do people actually pay for? Don't follow your passion, follow your skill set and become excellent. Guys, I'm Claudio, the band leader, owner, and bass player of Mod Society. Thank you so much for watching. If you want more content like this, subscribe, smash that like button, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.